Have you ever stopped to really think about why you want the things you want? I'm not even talking about the big life goals. I mean the little things, the everyday urges that just seem to pop into your head. Well, we're going to dive into that because the answer is honestly way cooler and maybe a little weirder than you might think.
I mean, what's the deal with high heels?
Or sports cars? Seriously, why are pretty much all Ferrari owners guys?
And designer bags, what are we really paying for when we obsess over a brand name that doesn't actually do anything better?
Here's the thing. The answers aren't in some fashion magazine or a car review. No, they're hidden deep inside our DNA. All these modern wants, they're not random at all. They're basically echoes, ghosts of ancient survival instincts hardwired into every single one of us. It's like we're all walking around with a super old operating system.
And that's really the key to unlocking this whole thing. Our brains, they're built for a world that's long gone. And that mismatch creates some really interesting behaviors in the world we live in today.
So think about it like this, right? Our brain is the computer, but it's running ancient software. Software that was perfected for one thing, surviving on the African savanna. The problem is, we're now living in a world of totally modern hardware. I'm talking shopping malls, Instagram, Wall Street. See the problem? That's the mismatch. Evolution never programmed us to crave lipstick. No, it programmed us with a deep, primal need to signal fertility. The lipstick, that's just today's version of that ancient drive.
And if you think this is just some theory, the data is actually wild. There was this amazing study by Dr. Gad Saad, and he found that when women are at the peak of their fertility cycle, they are way more likely to send out, sexual signals. We're talking more revealing clothes, more makeup, and yeah, you guessed it, high heels. It's not a conscious choice, it's just that ancient instinct bubbling up to the surface.
Okay, so if our brain is running on this ancient software, what are the actual programs, right? What's the code? Well, it turns out that most of the stuff we buy, most of our consumer habits, can be boiled down to just 4 basic foundational drives.
Dr. Saad calls them the 4 key Darwinian modules. They are survival, reproduction, kin selection, and reciprocal altruism. And trust me, once you get these 4, you will start seeing them absolutely everywhere.
All right, first up, survival. This one's easy. For our ancestors, calories were everything, and they were hard to find. So what happened? We evolved to crave foods packed with fat and sugar. That's the ancient programming. And it's the exact reason why, even when you're trying to eat healthy, your brain screams, cheeseburger, and just kind of whispers, celery?
Number 2, reproduction. Now this is where things get interesting. Men and women evolved to show off their value as a partner in totally different ways. For guys, a huge signal has always been status. And what's a Ferrari? It's a giant, roaring, super expensive signal that screams, I have high status. Women, on the other hand, you don't really see them lining up to buy a Ferrari because for them, that's just not the signal that carries the same weight in the mating game.
Third, we've got kin selection. This is basically the idea that we're hardwired to help out our own family, our genetic relatives. And you can see this perfectly when we give gifts. I mean, studies have shown that the amount of money you're willing to drop on a present lines up almost perfectly with how closely related you are to that person. It's like this unconscious calculus happening in your head.
And finally, number 4, reciprocal altruism. You know this one. It's the whole, I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine instinct. Our brains are basically amazing accountants, constantly keeping track of who owes who what. In fact, it's wild. Studies show our brains are specially wired to remember the faces of social cheaters. You know, the people who always take but never give back. But, and this is a big but, here's the twist. These drives, these instincts that were so crucial for keeping us alive for thousands of years, in our modern world, with everything at our fingertips, they can go completely haywire. And this is where we get to the dark side of all this.
As Dr. Saad explains it, these really destructive habits, they actually start from something that's perfectly healthy and normal. He uses the analogy of a cancer cell. Think about it. A cancer cell is just a normal cell that forgot how to stop. It lost its off switch and just starts growing and growing. Well, the exact same thing can happen with these evolutionary drives. And you can see exactly how this works right here. Take the totally normal adaptive drive for a woman to, beautify herself. Well, that can hyperfire and turn into compulsive shopping for makeup and shoes. Or the classic male drive for status. That can misfire and become pathological gambling, which is really just a desperate, super high-risk attempt to skyrocket up the social ladder. So this all leads to this huge idea called social signaling.
Because, let's be honest, we don't just buy things for what they do, we buy them for what they say about us.
And a key concept to grasp here is something called costly signaling. It's simple, really. For a signal to be honest and believable, it has to be expensive. It has to cost something: energy, time, money, whatever. The classic example is the peacock's tail. I mean, that thing is ridiculous. It's heavy, it's bright, it basically screams, "Hey predators, come eat me." And that's the point. That's what makes it an honest signal of how fit he is. Only a truly strong, healthy peacock could survive while dragging that thing around.
And we humans do the exact same thing. The guy who just made his first million might go out and buy a flashy Maserati, right? To signal, hey, look at me, I've made it. But for the ultra-rich, a Maserati isn't a costly signal. It's Tuesday. All their friends can get one. So how do they signal? They do it in other ways, like, say, spending $150 million on a painting that's literally just 3 colored lines on a canvas. That is a truly costly and therefore brutally honest signal of just how wealthy they are.
Okay, so I know what some of you are probably thinking right about now. Does looking at everything this way, through this cold, scientific lens, does it kind of take the magic out of everything, like love and romance?
Well, the short answer is absolutely not. Just because we understand that reality has different layers to it, a biological layer, a psychological one, and a romantic one, it doesn't make any of them less real. Knowing the deep evolutionary why behind falling for someone doesn't take away from the beautiful, amazing, transcendental feeling of being in love. If anything, it just adds another fascinating layer to the whole experience.
So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that we are all just walking around with these ancient, powerful drives quietly shaping our modern lives. So the next time you feel that pull, that really strong urge to buy something or want something, just pause for a second and ask yourself, okay, which ancient part of my brain is talking right now? I think you'll find that knowing the answer, well, it might just change everything about how you see the world and maybe even how you see yourself.